Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janava Labha Girivaradari Gopi Janava Labha Girivaradari. Can I sit here so that I can see? Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Teravana Chari Jamuna Teravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Teravana Chari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Patasati Radha, Patasati Radha. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Parivraja Pacharya, Ashtotra Stat Srimad Divine Grace. His confound Acharya, Srila Abhacharya Navinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Parivraja Pacharya, Ashtotra Stat Srimad Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavina Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gadadhar Si Vatsada Si Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Si Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Si Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Si Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Si Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Si Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai. Gangama Yamunamai Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakta Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vina Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the summoned devotees. All glories to the summoned devotees. All glories to the summoned devotees. All glories to Siguru and Guranga. So I'd like to make a simple request. If you have a phone, iPhone, Android, whatever, please put it on a plane mode. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So there is the translation going on at the back there. So just in case you have some problem in I'm sorry, maybe I have to learn Hindi in the future. But right now, my head is overloaded, so I'm not able to do it. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasat Tattva Jaya Mudhirai Nasta Paisabhadrisu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistike. So, this morning Bhagavatam, right here in the Sri Sri Radha Parthasada Temple of Delhi, is Canto 4, Chapter 29. Text 18. Is that what's on the board? 18? Oh, okay. So 18, 19, and 20. Is it all written there? Oh, really? That's good. That is the advantage of the Hindi, you know. Hindi and Sanskrit, they're very space effective. I just mentioned that people who have telephones should put their phone on plane mode or put it on silent mode. Silent. Can you announce it to them, Hindi?
हरे कृष्ण. कृपया करके अपनी सभी फोन एयरप्लेन मोड में रखें या साइलेंट में रखें. हरे कृष्ण.
Why we have to do that? That's the reason. So let me explain so that it doesn't seem as, oh, this Hare Krishna temple, there's just too many rules. Not like that. But the point is that even in the offices, if you go to meet some director of a firm or of an organization, the secretary may tell you that he's busy. He's in a meeting. And the meeting doesn't necessarily mean a big congregation. He's with somebody discussing official things. That is a meeting. They don't like interference. In fact, if you go to the office, you are having some discussion with the director of this organization, then he doesn't start making a telephone call there. Or you don't start receiving telephone calls there. Because you went for some business, some serious issue. So what could be more serious than discussing, than Bhagavad Gita? Is there anything more serious than this in our lives? And therefore, my solicitation, my humble request, my plea is that let's give peace a chance. Let's give this quality time. It's just about 45 minutes or less than that, only to discuss about the Bhagavatam. And then after now, we have the rest of the 23 hours, 15 minutes to use your phone. Okay? Simple logic. So the title of this chapter is Talks Between Nada and Prachinabhari. Talks between Nada and Prachinabhari. Deho ratas twindriya swa samvatsara rayo gati dvikama chakrasti guna dvaja pancha subanduraha Mano rasmi buddhi suto rimnido dvandvaku bharaha pachendriyata prakshepa saptadhatu varutakaha Akuti Vikramo Bhayo Mringa Trishna Pradavati Ekadasindriya Chamu Panchasuna Vinodakrit Deho Ratas Twindriya Swa Samvatsara Rayogati Dvikama Chakrasti Guna Dvaja Pancha Subhanduraha Mano Rasmi Buddhi Suto Rimni Do Dvandaku Bharaha Pachendriyata Prakshepa Saptadhatu Varutakaha Akuti Vikramo Bhayo Righa Trishnam Pradhavati Ekadasindriya Chamu Panchasuna Vinodakrit What is that? Vaishnavis, Vaishnavis, one more Vaishnavis, please. One person more. Ladies, I want to create a balance. Men, a number of them, about 4 people chanted, so why not the women? All right. we can carry on. At least 3 is okay. So word for word, translation, and then the translation and the purport, all by His Divine Grace, is confirmed Acharya. Srila Abhacharya Navina Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gosh. Deha, body. Rathaha, chariot. 2, birth. Indriya, the knowledge acquiring senses. Aswaha, the horses. Samvatsara, total years. Rayaha, duration of life. Agati, without advancing. Dvi, 2. Karma, activities. Chakraha, wheels. Tri, 3. Guna, modes of nature. Dwajaha, flags. Pancha, 5. Asu, life heirs. Banduraha, bondage. Manaha, the mind. Rasmi, rope. Buddhi, intelligence. Sutaha, chariot driver. Rich, heart. Nidda, sitting place. Dvandva, duality. Kubaraha, the post for the harness. Pancha, 5. Indriya Artha, sense objects. Prakshepaha, weapons. Sapta, 7. Dhatu, elements. Varutakaha, coverings. Akuti, attempts of the 5 working senses. Vikramaha, prowess or processes. Bayaha, external. Mriga Trishnam, false aspiration. Pradavati, runs after. Ekadasa, 11. Indriya, senses. Chamu, soldiers. Pancha, 5. Suna, envy. Vinoda, pleasure. Krit, doing. So translation. Now the Muni continued. What I refer to as the chariot was in actuality the body. The senses are the horses that pull that chariot. As time passes, year after year, these horses run without obstruction, but in fact, they make no progress. Pious and impious activities are the 2 wheels of the chariot. The 3 modes of material nature are the chariot's flags. The 5 types of life constitute the living entity's bondage, And the mind is considered to be the rope. Intelligence is the chariot driver. The heart is the sitting place in the chariot. And the dualities of life, such as pleasure and pain, are the nothing place. The 7 elements are the coverings of the chariot, and the working senses are the 5 external processes. The 11 senses are the soldiers, being engrossed in sense enjoyment. The living entity seated on the chariot hankers after fulfillment of his false desires and runs after sense enjoyment, life after life. Please kindly responsibly repeat. Nada Muni continued. What I refer to as the chariot was in actuality the body. The senses are the horses that pull the chariot. As time passes, year after year, these horses run without obstruction. But in fact, they make no progress. Pious and impious activities are the 2 wheels of the chariot. The 3 modes of material nature are the chariot's flags. The 5 types of life air constitute the living entity's bondage. And the mind is considered to be the rope. Intelligence is the chariot driver. The heart is a sitting place in the chariot. And the dualities of life, such as pleasure and pain, are the nothing place. The 7 elements are the coverings of the chariot. And the working senses are the 5 external processes. The 11 senses are the soldiers, being engrossed in sense enjoyment. The living entity seated on the chariot hankers after fulfillment of his false desires and runs after sense enjoyment, life after life. Omagana Timirandasya, Ginajana Salakaya, Saksul Meditam, Yedantis Mai, Se Gurave Maha, Suchetanya, Manobistam, Stafitam, Jena Bhutali, Swayam Rupam, Kadamayam, Dadatiswa, Padantikam, Vancha Kalpatari Becha, Kripa Sundubya Evacha, Patitanam, Pavanam, Vaishnavi. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Anirvasesa Sunyavadi Pasatya Distari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Segora Bhakti Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama. So again, welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. It takes a lot of sacrifice to be able to come to the Bhagavatam class, for especially those who are not temple resident devotees. So we should appreciate what these ladies and gentlemen are doing. To leave the comfort of your home around to the temple to come and listen to Bhagavatam class, that's not a joke. So we appreciate your presence. Now, this text are basically, Narada Muni is giving some explication or explanation of some things he had mentioned in the previous text. Now, explanation is so important, especially when we make a statement that presumably the other person does not understand. We have to take time to break it down. And that is why when words are used, the speaker normally will define that word. That's exactly what Narada Muni is doing here. However, the whole of the contextual definition or the connotative definition here boils down to the analogy that he has used. Now, we have different ways of presenting teachings, or presenting information, or presenting knowledge. Sometimes the knowledge is presented in the form of an allegory. Sometimes it's presented in the form of an analogy, comparing something to something else. Now, when people read the Bhagavad Gita, especially the impersonalists, a number of the impersonalists, they intend to interpret the Bhagavad Gita ultimately to bring to the conclusion that, there's nothing like Krishna. Krishna is just figurative. But Krishna is an historical figure also. And so here, Narada Muni is giving us just a fundamental idea about all that is involved in the chariot, where we need to know what we need to know. Because sometimes, if you present a thesis or a spiritual knowledge, it becomes very abstract, and people go about speculating. This person will take it and interpret it in their own way. This person will take it and interpret it in their own way. Now, the chariot that was given, the information that was given by Narada Muni in the previous text, he is taking his time to explain the meaning of the chariot, what it means. And so this is a good information for us, because sometimes we're giving a talk, and when you're giving a talk, we have to consider who are my audiences, whom am I talking to? When you're talking to some people who are living in the temple for maybe 20 years, it's a different thing. When you meet someone outside there who does not know anything about Krishna consciousness, and you start quoting about Sarvadharma Paritaja, Mamekam Saranam Vraja, Hamstram Sarva Papebhyo, Moksha Yishami Mazusa. If you say this in America to the American audience on the street, no one will understand you. They will just run away. So knowing your audience, Nara knows his audience. Prachina Bari is not a Sanskrit scholar. So he's taking time to explain to him what each part of this chariot actually means. Narada Muni is considered by Lord Brahma himself as the most beloved son of Lord Brahma. He said, Brahma himself mentioned the Trilokya Upanishad. He mentions in the Srimad Bhagavatam of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are two in Srimad Bhagavatam. One is spoken by Lord Brahma and one is spoken by Prahlad. Now, when Narada Muni inquired from Lord Brahma about some explanation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, now Lord Brahma addressed Narada Muni. He said, Sruni Narada, you listen to me. He said, you are the best of my sons. Sunara Vakshami, Putra sisters, Tapodana. You are the best, not because you are so handsome, not because you are so knowledgeable, not anything else. He said, your tapasya makes you exceedingly appealing to me. Your tapasya makes you my best of sons. And what is that tapasya? Narada Muni was going from one place to the other, preaching the glories of Lord Krishna. He was traveling around preaching the glories of Lord Krishna. He will go to the heavenly planets. He will even go to the hellish planets to preach the glories of Lord Krishna. Narada Muni will go to the householders. He had disciples all over the place. And so sometimes going around preaching, people think, oh, he's enjoying. Especially, sannyasis who travel around, in the airplanes, going from one country to the other. And sometimes we think, oh, they're enjoying so much. But, you know what? Try flying like what Japataka Swami does. Going to like 5 countries in a day. Do that for just 1 week and go for a medical checkup. Find out where you are. Because even just by flying, when you're on high altitude, your ears are pinching you. That shows how your whole organs, your whole body organs are under pressure. And you have to do that constantly to be able to save souls on the planet. That's not for everybody. And therefore, preaching itself is the word of those who are dear to Lord Krishna. In fact, Lord Krishna mentions in the Gita that there is no one dear to him in the past, in the present, and the future than he who preaches the message of the Gita to others, especially to the devotees. So do we want to be dear to Lord Krishna? We should become preachers. Like Narada Muni is discussing with Prachina Bari here. But on what? On how to enjoy? No. Is giving Prachina Bari spiritual information, spiritual knowledge that will enable Prachina Bari to become elevated and become decastrated from the circle of birth and death. This is the business of the preacher. The preacher goes around like Narada Muni does to try to save people, to try to entice people to Krishna consciousness. But you have to know the techniques of doing that. If you don't know the techniques of doing that, I remember some word devotees, I don't want to mention his name, he's a guru right now in ISKCON. He was telling me when he was doing his PhD, and, at the temple where he was coming to serve, so he came with his wife. And the first confrontation from the brahmacharis who were there was no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. And he said, what? This is not a place that I should hang around with my wife. It's all about showing the audience, look, these are the rules I'm following. I am better than you. Okay? I'm better than you. But that's not what Narada Muni does. Narada Muni is lovingly giving people Krishna consciousness, elevating people from what they have known to what they have not known. So Narada Muni started with what Prachina Bari has already known. Discussion, spiritual philosophy, spiritual knowledge, imparting spiritual knowledge, or even knowledge in general, is based on the beginning. You have to give that person what he already knows, what he's conversant with. Then you can go higher. We say it begins from the known to the unknown. So Narada Muni has delved into the unknown, and he's taking his time here to explain to Prachina Bari about the whole concept of the chariot. So preaching, I remember when we joined,
We will undergo courses on how to preach. Just like your brahmachari classes, we will undergo courses on how to preach to different audiences. I remember, in my case, my spiritual master personally taught me how to present views of Krishna consciousness on the TV. What you have to focus on, where you have to focus your eyes. So everything requires training. Preaching especially is a very technical thing that if we, using the words of Prabhupada, if we preach according to Desakala Patra, according to the audience, the time and the circumstance, we can win so many souls. But if we simply want to show people that we're better than you, they will not be so willing to come close to us. Therefore, initial thing is to become friendly. Talk with them in a way that they can appreciate you, they can appreciate your philosophy, appreciate what we are giving to them. And then later in the discussions or as the relationship grows, you can go deeper. And then, if when you go deeper, you have to explain the words you're using. Otherwise, you get them lost. That's exactly what Narada Muni is doing here. He is the spiritual master of the Devas. He is the spiritual master of every conditioned soul. And so if we look at this example, there's a lot we can learn. And we can also become very dear to our spiritual masters. Just like Narada Muni became very dear to his father, Lord Brahma, by his austerities. The austerities of going around to preach Krishna consciousness. So all of you have been trained up. But at some point in time, don't think that you will just be sitting here to enjoy the comfort of this glamorous temple. You will be sent out to the villages to go and establish centers, to establish temples. Take what you have to take now, but you will not be sitting down in this temple to enjoy it for the rest of your life. Because you don't know how this place, how His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj run around to set up this place. Now you will have to also go and set up a place. So don't stay here and struggle for power. Okay, tendency is I serve very nicely, but what is the motivation in most cases? I'm looking for power. And then when you give me small power, small position, you don't want to leave the temple, you don't want to go and preach. No. At some point in time, we should demonstrate our sense of understanding. Like Narada Muni, he was traveling around, he was completely detached. At some point in time, we should be detached. After getting all of this knowledge, we should be ready to sacrifice our comfort and go out, like Narada Muni, to go and preach anywhere and everywhere. Afterwards, Lord Chaitanya predicted that this knowledge has to go to every town and village. So the other point in the purport here is that there's so much to be said about enjoyment. So we'll go to the purport and we'll see what Prabhupada is saying. The entanglement of the living entity in sense enjoyment is very nicely explained in this verse, in these verses. The word samvatsara, meaning the progress of time, is significant. Day after day, week after week, fortnight after fortnight, month after month, year after year, the living entity becomes entangled in the chariot's progress. The chariot rests on two wheels, which are pious activities and impious activities. The living entity attains a certain position in life in a particular type of body according to his pious or impious activities. But his transmigration into different bodies should not be taken as progress. When we are moving from one body to the other, if even we become Lord Brahma in the next life, according to Prabhupada, he said, we should not take that. That's the progress. Because it's the same prison. The same prison. Real progress is explained in the Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Tektva deham puna janma neti. One makes real progress when he does not have to take another material body, as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, text 138. Eta Brahmanda Bari Ananda Jiva Gana Chaurasi Luksha Unita Karaya Brahmana. The living entity is wandering throughout the entire universe and taking birth in different species in different planets. Thus, he moves up and down, but that is not real progress. If even you go to become a citizen of the United States, it's not a real progress. If even you become a citizen of the UK, it's not a real progress. Because it's just the same prison suits. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8:16, Abrahma bhuvana loka puna avatinojana. Mam opetya tu konteya puna janma navidate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Is the Lord Krishna giving straight and unambiguous verdict. If we get out from this material world, we are making some progress. If we go back to Krishna, that is real progress. So we should ask ourselves, what is my mission in being a brahmachari in the temple? What is my mission? Sometimes we remember, most of the times we forget. After some years, we forget about our mission of coming to stay in the temple. It's so easy to forget because we are prone to forgetfulness. Conditioned soul is prone to forgetfulness. Even if one is promoted to Brahma Loka, the highest planet in the universe, he has to come down again to the lower planetary systems. Thus, he is wandering up and down perpetually under the influence of the three modes of material nature. Being illusion, he thinks he is making progress. He is like an airplane encircling the earth day and night, incapable of leaving the earth's gravitational field. Factually, there is no progress because the airplane is conditioned by the earth's gravity. Just as a king is seated on the chariot, the living entity is seated in the body. The sitting place is the heart, and the living entity sits there and engages in the struggle for existence, which goes on without progress, perpetually. In the words of Narottam Das Thakur, Kama Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishara Bandha, Amrita Baliya Yebakaya, Nana Yoni Sadafire, Gadarya Bhakshana Kare, Tara Janma Addaha, Pate Yaya. The living entity struggles very hard due to the influence of fruitive activities and mental speculation and simply gets a different type of body, life after life. He eats all kinds of nonsense and is condemned by his activities of sense enjoyment. If one really wants to progress in life, he must give up the ways of Kamakanda, Jnanakanda, Kamakanda and Jnanakanda, fruitive activities and mental speculation. Being fixed in Krishna consciousness, one can become free from the entanglement of birth and death and the vain struggle for existence. In these verses, the words Mriga Trishna, Padawati are very significant because the living entity is influenced by a taste for sense enjoyment. He is like a deer that goes to the desert in search to search out water. In a desert, an animal simply searches in vain for water. Of course, there is no water in the desert, and the animal simply sacrifices his life in an attempt to find it. Every one is planning for future happiness, thinking that someone or somehow or other, if he can reach a certain point, he will be happy. In actuality, however, when he comes to that point, he sees that there is no happiness. He then plans to go further and further to another point. This is called Mriga Trishna. And it's the basis. And its basis is sense enjoyment in the material world. So Prabhupada's purport is very self-explanatory. We want to enjoy in this material world, so we struggle so much. I know one of my friends, he has 3 PhDs. Three PhDs. But he's not happy. If you go close to his private, if you tell you his private life, you just pity him. So we're thinking when we have all the skills, when we have the best houses, we have the best facilities, infrastructures, then we will enjoy. But then when you have all of these things, you still don't feel satisfaction. And so the wise, they don't waste their time. Bhagavatam explained, puna, chavita, charvananam. Chewing what has already been chewed. We are crazy. We conditioned souls, we are crazy. Because we are embarking on chewing the chewed for many, many lifetimes. And so the Guru comes, Prabhupada comes, Krishna comes, he sends his empowered souls, powered devotees, to come and remind us, hey, these things you are embarking on, there is no end to it. If you like, you have, say, you become the Prime Minister of India, you think that is going to fulfill all of your desires? No. You will still desire something else. You have all the money that you need at this time, other desires will come. You have the most beautiful wife in Delhi. And at some point in time, you'll be thinking, oh, look at this one. So, the senses, they pull us, here and there. They drag us, they drag living entity here and there. The eyes are dragging us this way. The ears are dragging us this way and this way. So, we don't have any rest. The only way out is to take to Krishna consciousness, chant the holy names every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And the lived experiences of this Maha Mantra is that people are happy by chanting. The lived experience of those who are trying to enjoy is that people are not satisfied with whatever enjoyment facilities they have. But it's up to you. You want to try it, you want to experiment it, go ahead and experiment. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? The time is already up. But we can take one question if there is any one question. It's a very simple topic, enjoyment. We all want to enjoy in this world, is it not? Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you Maharaj for nicely explaining. I have a question that you said the real progress is to advance and to for eternally going home back.
Can you speak because you're not in the bedroom? Can you speak a little bit loud?
As you told that real progress is to going back home back to Godhead.
Not me, Prabhupada said that in the purport.
Yeah.
I just repeated what Prabhupada said.
Yes, Maharaj. So I want to ask, what should be our way to, how should we progress in that way? How can I focus on that way, like I am going to that way only? Real.
How to focus? That's a nice question. It's just by being a brahmachari in the temple, you are regulated. Now, you don't have a problem, except you want to create problems for yourself. If a question is being asked, maybe some devotee who is living outside, what to do, how to do about this, then okay, we can rattle a way to deal with that. But you just follow what Prabhupada, what your temple management have said, what your guru has set down for this temple, sadhana system, to go to bed at a particular time, to wake up at a particular time. Okay? And here, it's a little bit, the sadhana is not so tough like Vrindavan. Vrindavan, you have to go to Mangalati at 10 minutes past 4. Okay? So if you don't wake up at 2:30 or 2 o'clock, you may find difficulties in, meeting up for the day. Okay? Sometimes people think, I like to go and stay in Vrindavan. If you just want to go and hang out in Vrindavan as a socialite, it's a different thing. But are you going to Vrindavan for spiritual elevation? It's tough. So here you have a system. Go to bed at a particular time. The time management has been set by Prabhupada. When you wake up, if you sleep at 9 o'clock, you'll be able to get up at 3 o'clock or 3:30. What time do you wake up here? 3:30? 3 o'clock. Okay. So if you sleep at 9, you'll be able to use 6 hours for sleeping, which is good for any young adult. But if you stay around till 11 o'clock before you sleep, I doubt if you're going to be able to wake up at 3. You understand the point? So, how to become connected, how to become focused? Just follow what this system has provided for you. Going to bed at a particular time. Waking up. If you don't know what time to go to bed, you can ask your temple commander. But ideally, 9 o'clock is, if you're waking up at 3 o'clock, then 9 o'clock is good to go to bed because you need like 6 hours to be able to rejuvenate your body. And instead of going to bed and you just hang around and be discussing, which is also good, but you will not be able to come to Mangalati the next day, hopefully not. So it's called self-regulation. What we need is self-regulation according to what has been laid down in the temple. That's all. This time of Bhagavatam, you come. Why you come to Bhagavatam? Because coming to hear Bhagavatam purifies us. Nasta prayesu abhadresu. And it should be every day. Not that today I come to the Bhagavatam class and tomorrow I'm on break. There's no break. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. This type of service to the personality Bhagavat, there's the book Bhagavat and the personality Bhagavat. This type of service to the book Bhagavat and the personality Bhagavat is eternal. Every day. No break. Except you're seriously sick. So yeah, the system has been provided already. We just follow this. And if you're a brahmachari, there are so many things that you can be always engaged in to not allow your mind to be distracted, to be focused. Associate with people who are serious about Krishna consciousness. Even in the temple, I remember when I joined the temple, I was speaking with one boy who was there before me. You listen to this. These days, even your temple president cannot do that to you because a number of the devotees, you can't really trust them. But I was in the temple, there was a devotee who was there before me, and I was speaking with this devotee, the temple president saw me. I was just new in the temple. And he called me over to his office and he told me, let me not see you standing with that devotee talking. I asked him, he has been here in your temple. I like to challenge. I said, he has been here in your temple. So what's the problem? He said, all right, you watch and see. After 1 month, the boy blooped. But these days, you cannot even advise a devotee, They'll be thinking, oh. Imagine a temple president comes to tell you, hey, what's your name? Hey, Vilas, I don't want to see you stand with that devotee. You will go all over the place blaspheming him. But your managers, they know each and everybody around. They may not speak against anybody, but they know who are the people who are going to stay They know who are those that are not going to be able to stay. Yes, so follow the system. Have good association. Read every day. When it's time for japa, you should not carry your phone by yourself and wait for, telephone calls to come in. I've seen some brahmacharis, time for japa, the phone is there, and then some call comes in. Yes, Haribo. That's not what Prabhupada gave to us. I have telephones. I have 2 telephones. I don't carry any one of them even to Mangarati or to, except there's a time that I have to focus on communication. That's how the system works. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki.